Okay, so I didn't really have time to make this into a short, too much information, not enough time. But I'm from Gainesville, Florida. My wife and I, we work around town. We're always around town, going through different parts of town, uh, through the campus area of UF, from the north side to the south side, all the way out to Williston. We manage Airbnbs. As of late, we've had these protesters against ICE agents. I've seen probably about 1,000 of them in person. And I've seen 0 ICE agents or ICE agent vehicles or anybody knocking on my door or anything of that nature. Also, like I mentioned earlier, we work in the Airbnb business. We just so happen to have all of our Airbnbs were empty this weekend. Protests start on Friday. All of our Airbnbs are booked for their 2-night stay minimum, and all the names are very odd. It almost seems like they're doing the same thing they did with Kamala's rally. They're sending people around the country to make it look like there's more people protesting against ICE agents than there really are. I mean, this is getting sad. What are we protesting against? There's no ICE agents beating down our door. I've been sitting comfortably in my home. I've went out and done business. I have not been harassed. I have taught my son to drive on these roads. We're not being stopped at checkpoints. Like, this is really getting ridiculous in the fact that people can't go on with their daily life because they're so brainwashed by these dumbass Democrats that's got them convinced that ICE agents are running around just killing people. It's not the case. It'll never be the case. Unless they want to go to war. And we can do that. I don't have a problem with that. Because I'm sick of the softness of this country. I'm sick of people thinking that President Trump is to blame for everything. I mean, come on. Are you serious? All these people that are complaining about Trump didn't have shit to say whenever Joe Biden couldn't even figure out how to wipe his ass. I mean, if people would take just a second and look in the mirror and think about how fucking stupid it is, the shit that y'all come up with, then maybe, just maybe, common sense would take over. But that's probably asking a lot. But regardless, I could show video evidence of the names and everything on our Airbnb bookings and all that, but I'm not going to share personal information just in case it might be a real name, which I highly doubt. They're real names because we've been in this business for, what, babe, about 6 years? About 6 years, and we've never seen names like this. I don't even think names like this actually exist. And maybe over in Afghanistan and Iran and, in the Middle East, if you combined like 3 different people's names, it would make sense. But in America, it does not. And in Gainesville, it certainly doesn't. Doesn't fit our normal criteria as far as our guests go. And we take very good care of our guests. So, I hate the fact that we've taken very good care of a bunch of shitty Democrats this weekend, but it is what it is. But all of this that you're seeing in mainstream media talking about ICE this and ICE that, ask yourself this: how many ICE agents have knocked on your door? How many ICE agents have pulled you over and asked you for your documents? How many ICE agents have shot at you for no reason? Pretty sure the answer is probably going to be none for most of you. I know it's none for me. And I know I'm sick of watching these idiots try and take our country over. They say that Trump is a dictator. That's not a dictator. A dictator is somebody that when they're outvoted democratically, this is a democracy, they were outvoted. Trump won. Deal with it. But you can't deal with it. From day one, you're trying to get him kicked out of office. Oh, what about the Epstein files? Well, don't you think if there was incriminating evidence on the Epstein files that the Democrats would have used that when they were running against Trump? You probably hadn't thought that far into it because you're just like, oh, ICE, protest, let's go. But, you know, I can't think for you idiots. But what I can do is I can tell you I live in Gainesville, Florida. And if any of you got a problem with me, you can DM me and I'll hook you up with my address and we can talk about it. But I live in Gainesville, Florida, and I've yet to see the first ICE agent. Hadn't seen the first ICE vehicle, but I can tell you what I have seen. Traffic jams, people late to doctor appointments, people that can't get to work because we've got libtards in the streets with their fucking little gay-ass flags, just waving them around about how terrible ICE is. Meanwhile, there's probably not an ICE agent within 100 fucking miles of them. So they just march around. Basically, they do what they do every day. Nothing to contribute to society. So they're on track with that. We got that covered. That's why we didn't miss them when they went on their strike on Friday, right? You know, when business was as usual, and I didn't have a problem getting my business done. I made money that day. Matter of fact, I dealt with a Hispanic guy at the auto parts store, and he worked, but you got these dumbass white libtards out there marching in the street for the Hispanics while they're inside working. Now you tell me how that makes sense. Sounds like to me they're taking advantage of their work ethic. Same thing America's been doing with Hispanics for years, taking advantage of their work ethic. But if you do things the way Trump would like to do things and have people come in this country legally, then you don't have to worry about people working for less than minimum wage. They can come in the right way and they get the same rights that we do. The same rights, the same freedoms. I mean, you people really need to stop encouraging these protests. All you're doing is adding gas to a fire that you really don't want to add gas to. Do you liberals really want to go to war with Republicans? Think about what Republicans consist of, right? Veterans, rednecks, everybody down south. What do all those people have in common? They love guns. They know how to shoot. They know how to shoot really well, to the point to where they don't have to think about it. I can load, unload, break down my AR-15, do anything to it with a fucking blindfold on my face. Find me a libtard that can do that. Doubt that'll happen. And if you do find him, he won't last long because he'll be the only one. You're not going to get Trump out of office. If you do, it'll be the worst mistake you've ever made. I can promise you that, because there's many people in this world, their voices are suppressed by the Democrats, that will fight to the death for this man, because he stands for what America is supposed to be. We're not a fucking foreign aid station. We have to look out for our own. We have homeless veterans in the streets. Meanwhile, we're giving a fuck ton of money to Venezuela to support their fucking transsexual program or some bullshit. Who knows? I mean, it's give money to everybody except for the people that fought to defend our country, right? I mean, fuck them. Just like whenever they discharge you and they don't tell you how to go back to being a normal civilian. They brainwash you, teach you how to kill, and then just send you back out into society. Well, think about that before you keep pushing Republicans' buttons. Because on most of those Republicans, all the veterans, they got brainwashed, taught how to kill, taught how to compartmentalize, but they never got untaught. So don't forget that. When you want to go to war with these people, they're going to eat you alive. So my best suggestion to you libtards would be you can even text your mom on the way home and have her throw you a couple Hot Pockets in the microwave and ask her to sit them in the basement for you. And you need to climb back in your mama's basement and get back on World of Warcraft and go live in your little fantasy land before you fuck around and get hurt. Because there are people out here like me that's sick and tired of being sick and tired. I fought addiction and I beat that, overcame that years and years clean. And I didn't do that to live in a country full of fucking people that can't even figure out what gender they are. I mean, this is getting beyond ridiculous, totally beyond ridiculous. And you can feel however you want to feel. I don't give a shit. If you think you're a girl, good for you. You've got a psychiatric disease. But you can't force me to say that you're a girl when I know you got a dick hanging in between your legs. It's just not going to happen. You are who you are. If your name's Mason, you can't just change it to Chloe. You know, it's just really getting ridiculous. And I'm getting tired of hearing the Epstein Island bullshit. You know, like I said, if there was anything incriminating with Donald Trump and Epstein Island, don't you think that Kamala would have pulled that ace out the hole and won that election? She would have, right? Anybody in their right mind would. Well, hang on. She's not in her right mind. But maybe somebody around her had enough sense to say, hey, if he's incriminated in those files, we should use those to win the election. But, I mean, I won't argue too much because I know that was probably a room full of idiots. So if nobody came up with that idea, it wouldn't shock me. But I'm pretty sure there's no incriminating evidence on the Epstein files against Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a man of his word, definitely a man of his word, and he ain't scared to tell you how it is. That's what we need in this country. We don't need to be told what we want to hear. All you people that want to be told what you want to hear, y'all are just, you're scared to work for your own. You want to be supported by everybody else. You always want to be the victim. Why don't you start being the hero? Why don't you start showing your fellow Democrats that you can work and make a living? You don't have to live off of food stamps. You don't have to live off of welfare or whatever government programs. I don't even know because I've never lived off of them. So, you know, I wouldn't know. I'm a hard worker. We work for what we got. And we're very proud of what we got. And we're very happy with what we've got. And I don't mind getting up and going to work. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll be getting up and going to work. Guess what? Cleaning up after libtards, right? You know, the ones that are staying in our Airbnbs right now. So we'll see what kind of mess they leave behind. I mean, that's going to be a lot of tampons considering the men and the women use them. But, you know, this is just getting ridiculous and blown out of proportion. The bottom line is, we've been in Gainesville for years and years. That's not even the point. But for the past week, all these protests have been going on. And I'm telling you, I've been looking. And I'm a very, very observant person. I have yet to see. The only ice I've seen is the fucking ice machine where you go get a bag of ice. I'm sure there's tweakers out there that can tell you how to get a different kind of ice. But one ice I haven't seen would be immigration and customs enforcement. They're nowhere around Gainesville. And if they are, they're only tracking the illegals. They're not messing with us U.S. citizens. So your protests are like, they don't even make any fucking sense. Hang on, I got a little sip of coffee here. Gotta get a little caffeine, a little motivation. But you can keep sending your protesters around to different cities and sparking up everybody's fire and pissing off all the wrong people. But what good is it doing? What do you think it's going to do? How do you think that is going to somehow impeach our president? I mean, you do realize that these protests, they do nothing but screw people's day up, Your fellow Democrats, by the way, because it's not just Republicans in traffic that you're blocking, right? I mean, there's Democrats in traffic that might be trying to get their kid to a chemo appointment to save their life because their kid has cancer, or their grandmother, or anything. Somebody trying to get to the emergency room, and somebody dies because you want to protest against something that's not even happening. It's not even happening. I know all kinds of people around this town. Nobody has said to me they've even seen an ICE agent, let alone their door been knocked on and all that bullshit. Can we get real with ourselves for just 1 second and just accept our president for who he is? Because if we don't accept Trump, I love Trump. I'll die for the man. Tattooed on my neck. I'll die for him. Because he stands for what America stands for what the Constitution stands for, not for what you want or what you like or what you think is right. Just because you want to be a woman, well, guess what? God had different plans. And you might want to brush up on the scripture a little bit before you go to changing your sex, because that's playing God. That's a big no-no. But what are you going to accomplish? So you think you're going to impeach Trump and throw some idiot like Kamala Harris in there, or Tampon Tim, or I don't know who y'all have got in mind at this point. I mean, Jesus. The lineup is like, it's basically like sitting outside the doors of a short bus and watching each one of them pop out. None of them rode the full-length bus to school, I can guarantee that. But you think we're going to impeach Trump, throw this moron in there, and then everybody's going to forget about it and the Republicans are going to be okay. Well, let me tell y'all something. Y'all's little protests compared to what the Republicans will do, protesting is that's just running your fucking mouth, right? That's all you're doing is running your mouth. A lot of us Republicans don't like to talk. If you want to keep it up, this only ends one way. We all know it only ends one way, and it's going to be a civil war. Or we can come together and build our country and stop believing mainstream media. Have you not been convinced enough that mainstream media does nothing but lie? I mean, come on. Like, the Trump and Kamala race was so tight, right? But then he won by a giant margin. When was the race tight then? I mean, so much shit has been proven to be a lie in mainstream media, but yet you idiots still believe it. And a lot of it's older people that have always trusted the news. And my grandmother being one of them. And I hate that. My grandma trusts the news. She doesn't understand AI and that videos can be fabricated these days. And it's sad for me. But, you know, I put that to the side. My grandmother's a Democrat, and I am a fucking red-blooded fucking Republican, and that's not ever going to change. But it doesn't stop me from loving her. It doesn't stop me from going over there for holidays. It doesn't stop me from going and visiting her or helping her or anything. It's simply your preference. I mean, are we not allowed to prefer different things? Do you go out to eat with somebody and you get a steak and they get chicken and you go, oh, fuck no, this dinner's over. I only eat steak. Fuck your chicken. No, that's stupid. So basically what Democrats are saying is, if you don't think like us, then what? That's a dictatorship. You're trying to say we have to think like you. We have to fucking open the borders back up and let all these murderers back in. We have to stop trying to get illegal aliens out of our country. Do you not understand that these third world countries can build cells inside of our country? And you talk about the ease of terrorist attacks. The same people crying about 9/11 are probably half of the people that's walking around protesting about Trump and his border security. You contradict yourself. Hypocritical, you're contradictive. I mean, it's so sad that it's come to this, that it should have never came to this, because our country should have never gotten so weak to where we needed a lion in office, but we got a lion in office. So let's keep him there.